Okay, so my name is Serge Noukoué, and in 2013 I co-founded, I started a film festival that was dedicated to Nigerian cinema, which was considered a crazy idea at the time because it was like, why? Like, it doesn't make sense, but I could see the potential of the industry, and I could see that Nigerian cinema was growing, and it was important to bring it to the different conversations that are happening about world cinema. And I felt like Nigeria was not there at the table, and it needed a seat at the table. I definitely agree that there's a new wave, but at the same time it's been going on for maybe the past 5 years, where you have, you know, when Nollywood started, you have to, if you go back to the beginning of Nollywood, it was really because there was nothing that was available. And people in Nigeria were watching all these films coming from outside, from the US, from also China, India, and all of that. And at some point, they wanted to see their own stories, their own, you know, their own images on the screen. And they started, but the way it started, it was also like, in a way, copying what they were seeing on the screen. So they were copying American films and these kind of things. And as it evolved, there's definitely now a new wave and a new voice because the stories are more authentic. They are telling the Nigerian story from the Nigerian point of view. So you have characters that are more realistic, that speak like the way people speak in the streets, and so I think they're really introducing Nigeria to the world, and in a way that's what was missing before. And also the other thing that was missing was the technical skills, because a lot of times the films were okay for the Nigerian audience, but they would not be able to travel because just the standard were not respected when it comes to sound, lighting, or all of these things. So now there's definitely like a lot of people who sometimes were trained outside of Nigeria and then they came back, or people who were trained in Nigeria, or even people who were self-taught. It's my first time at this festival. I've been to several festivals, you know, from Berlin to Cannes to a lot of big festivals in the world, and it's definitely a great experience that we are having here. It's our first time, but it's not our last time. We will come back. I think the vision of the festival is great. The vision of linking Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, North Africa, the Arab world, and also Asia and Latin America to an extent is great. And there's a need for more communication and more understanding between these different people and these different parts of the world, because a lot of times everybody just looks in one direction, which is the West. You know, we all look at Europe, we all look at America, but there's just more and other connections that need to happen between South America. I mean, I even had an opportunity myself. I spent time in Brazil, for instance. I've lived in Brazil. I've lived in Africa. I've lived in France. So it's like I see that one of the biggest problems that we have is that the filmmakers don't meet enough between themselves. You know, like everybody will go to the big festivals, but the emphasis is not on their films, and therefore there's not enough interactions between what we call the global south, you know, and I think that's what this festival is doing, and so I hope in the future the festival can do that even more. It's important that young people start watching different things. It's important that young people start being curious. Even if you're on Netflix, you know, like Netflix is not just Orange is the New Black and other series like that. There's now a lot of content from Nigeria, a lot of content from Africa. So it's important to just be curious and try to watch those films, you know. And I think it's a long-term project, so we have to really keep pushing. But hopefully, we will have new generations that are genuinely interested in watching those images that are coming from outside, and that will create more interactions between the different countries. Well, so Nollywood Week, like I said, was born in 2013. Now we have evolved. We have become a festival that is doing more and more things. We have our professional encounters. We are pitching competitions and these kind of things, and we are trying to grow that part, the professional part. And personally, I'm also involved in distribution. Because I feel like I was saying earlier, that the films need to travel after the festival. They need to have a life and they need to have a career so that they can really meet their audiences. And because those things don't happen on their own, you know, we need to be involved also in that. And with the festival, I also use it to start another part of the global vision, which is production. So I want to be able to produce the most promising upcoming talent at some point. So the idea is to give them an opportunity to develop their projects and their scripts and all of that. Yeah. I think young upcoming filmmakers should continue to be curious. That's the most important thing. When you're a filmmaker, you have to watch films. You have to watch all kinds of films, not just a certain type of films. You have to really constantly feed yourself with films, and that's really the best advice.